Hello and welcome. Welcome to our channel. This is the Bigfoot Outlaw YouTube channel. My name is Inbaal and I'm coming at you live from right here in the UK. This is Psychic Development with Inbaal, where we go through all the different passions that I have within the psychic world and do little readings and have conversations together about how all the different elements of the psychic world fit with us. I actually have, or possibly had, a phenomenal guest for you today. And I really hope that we're still going to be able to interview him, because he is just completely, my dream guest. He's out of this world, but we have been battling technical issues where his device was just not having any of it. So I'm going to save you the surprise for a little bit later, and let's all hold a place in our hearts that his device manages to connect, and so that we can all see him, interview him, and learn from him. In the meantime, we would love to hear any of your paranormal experiences. Go ahead and share if you've had anything interesting / annoying happen to you that's a little bit mystical, a little bit spiritual. The Mercury retrograde started yesterday. That means that, well, exactly like what we've got here, computers aren't working quite the way they should do, messages, misunderstandings, and so on. Personally, my Mercury retrograde thing was, well, it's a little bit secret, but I work for lots of different organizations in, if you see, I sort of write a lot of astrology content, and sometimes I'll write it for this paper and sometimes for that paper. And yesterday, just as the retrograde was coming in, I had a couple of requests coming in that were a bit of a conflict of interest. And I already said yes to one, and then I had to say yes to another one. And then I had to kind of work it out together so that those two employers, or whatever they are, don't really clash. And I thought that is so the first day of Mercury retrograde. It was all like, it was good stuff. It's positive stuff. I love doing my writing, but having to sort of say to one employer, you're really my number one choice, and having to say to another employer, yeah, I'll definitely do that. So there is a message that's come in, seashells, exactly on point. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go through all of your messages and see all the lovely greetings. And then we're all going to sit together and get annoyed about the Mercury retrograde together. So KD is saying greetings all, and she's got a peace dove emoji, which I don't think I have. Does my phone do that? Kathy is saying hello all. Twisted Lena is saying hello all. Hello lovely and Bob. Hello Lena. Seashell saying hey. Brian Baba is saying, hey there, little Twisted. He's saying, hi, Seashells. Hi, Brian. Twisted is saying, hey, Seashell. And Seashells is asking a super, super relevant question. So Seashells is saying, now, just in case you're watching us or listening to us on anything that's not the YouTube channel Bigfoot Outlaw, I'm not sure if you can send us messages. So if you want to send us messages, make sure you subscribe to the Bigfoot Outlaw channel. Now, I can see that my guest is present. I hope all the camera and microphone and everything is working. So I'm going to give him the big intro, just in case it works. If it doesn't work, at the very least, you'll get to see him and see how gorgeous he is. So I would love to welcome Seashells. We're going to do your question before we move on, but let me just welcome my incredible guest. He is a tarot reader, an artist, a deck creator, an occultist, a witch, and everything in between, and one of my personal heroes. Please welcome Seth David Rodriguez to the Bigfoot Outlaw family. Is it connecting? Is it connecting? It's saying here on my screen that it's connecting. Hi, Seth. Can you hear me? A little bit and not so much. Oh, I'm not sure that this is going to be successful today. And this is just so Mercury retrograde. So I'm going to take Seth off the screen just for the time being, in the hope that something is going to reconnect. Let me send him a little message to say, took you off the screen just for now. Just letting him know that I took him off the screen. But Seashell's question fits exactly with what is going on right now. So Seashell says, oh, sorry, I'm switching between browsers. Seashell says, can I ask what was just happening in my home? The TV kept switching channels and the energy I seen was reddish. Not sure. So first of all, as I said, when Mercury, the planet of communication, goes retrograde, it impacts everything to do with communication. So you'll see that happening to any kind of communication devices, your phone, your laptop, even your charger, for sure, the TV. But I will also say that I have found that when or even just like no utilities, what do you call it, like tools around the house, when they insist on breaking when they shouldn't be breaking, there could be a message there for you. And I'll tell you that in the way of an example. I've always got any question, I've got like a half-hour story instead of an answer. So in 2020, in March, if anyone remembers March 2020, very difficult time globally, our microwave just exploded one day, just with this little flame, and that was it. So we were like, okay, can still use the oven. We couldn't very well go to the shop because it was a difficult time then, couldn't go to the shop to replace it. Fine, we've got the oven and we've got the hob, so we can cook things, we can, fry things. And then the oven the next day expired. So we could only deep fry for a while, happy days. But I thought that must be a message. An element of fire and then another element of fire are struggling. And I looked sort of deep down. And at the time, I figured I was struggling with a lot of anger. Anger is a very familiar emotion for me. You mustn't be embarrassed for being angry. And a couple of years later, there was a similar, in the end, happy ending, got a new microwave, got it like real good price because nobody was in the shops at the time, managed to get a new oven delivered, everything is fine. But a couple of years later, I had something similarly weird happen with water features. So we'd get a leak here, a leak there, everything was leaking, like bathrooms, showers and that. And at the time I thought, well, there must be a message from the element of water, from emotions, for me. And indeed, my emotions was a little bit all over the shop at the time. So see what TV means to you. I think it might have to do with communication, but not just as a Mercury retrograde issue, but actually as a message for your communication, as a message that says to you, maybe you need to be communicating more effectively. Maybe you need to communicating in a different way with different people. Have a think whether that means anything to you. And I've got another message from you saying, thank you. If you can, I since cleansed the space, but if it has a message for me, that would be fine. Right. So that's really, really interesting. Just have a little think whether that makes sense to you, whether you've had messages communicated to you by the universe, from the universe. I know it can be like a really strange thing to say. Do you know what I mean? That the universe communicates to you all the time, but I really believe that it does. We've got the message from a little Twisted saying, hey, Brian. Brian saying, hey, Inbaal. Seashells saying, sorry, my OneDrive decided to show me photos of the children from years ago. So Mercury. Seashells is saying, I'm here. Griff. Hey, Griff is saying hi. And Laurie Sue has a really interesting message here saying, Seashells, hopefully it wasn't a Starlink connective issue. Interesting. Little Twisted saying, hey, Griff. Kathy is saying, hi, Seashells, Brian, KD, Little Twisted, Griff, Seashells is giving love. Roger is saying, howdy, everyone. Be sure to hit the like button, everyone, if you haven't yet. Twisted is saying, I cooked a pork loin in the crock pot and forgot to put potatoes in. My blessing to you, my wish to you is that is the worst that that Mercury retrograde has got for you, like a slightly dry pork loin. I'm sure it wasn't dry without the potatoes. Anyway, I'm flashing all your greetings to each other. Ward is here joining us from Facebook saying hello. And we caught up with all the messages. Laurie Sue says, Brian, your live stream, how you conducted and produced it was wonderful. Great job. Wonderful, Brian. Excellent to hear. And we've got Roger Blair saying, hey, Laurie, and Roger saying, hey there. And Seashells is saying, I was just cleaning and it started happening. Laurie Sue is saying, could also be an electrical issue within the unit or the wiring, static. Static causes electrical issues. Seashells is saying everything's been going well. Grateful you came on as soon as it happened. Let's try and see if Seth manages to connect again. Let's see what's going on. Hey, Seth, can you hear us? No, we just get to enjoy your gorgeousness. Just because the voices are not connecting and everything, so we might be unsuccessful in conducting an interview. I think it's really important that I inform you that the artwork behind him is the handiwork of Seth himself. Let me put, I feel like our names should show. There we go. So we've got Seth. I'll try and see if I can put his Facebook profile in the messages, in the comments below. And maybe then you get to enjoy his artwork as well. Let's do it. Official Inbaal. There we go. So I've got, I don't know if it's clickable. I doubt that it's clickable. How far have we got with the messages? Oh, Grizzly's here. Hi, Grizz. How are you? Twisted likes it. She's saying art is fantastic. And Kay says, good evening, as I don't see my messages now. Oh, that's a pity. If anybody wants a little reading, don't be shy. Send in your message. Whether we manage to connect with Seth or not is really sort of down to Mercury and his quirky ways. If we don't manage to do it today, we'll do it next time. But KD is saying, okay, weird, strange ways. Yes. And Twisted says, KD, YouTube has been having issues with chat. Go out and come back in. Do you know what? That's always like the correct IT message. And Grizzly Chris is saying, wonderful. Hi, Grizz. Great to see you. Great to hear from you. Can't wait for your big announcement. We've had some cryptic announcements on the Facebook, but not like a whole announcement yet. So we're really looking forward to that. Let's just try and make a vocal connection again. Seth, can you hear me? Not so much. I'm going to try and remove him from the screen again. Oh, no. It looks like it did it by itself. Remove from the screen again. Right. So in the sort of twists and turns of the Mercury retrograde, we get to find creative solutions. I was asked, oh, okay. We have like the most Mercury direct message coming from Grizz. I don't even know whether to flash it on the screen. You have to. Grizzly Chris is saying, we are going on Apple TV, Fire TV, Hulu, and more. So this is breaking live on Psychic Development with Inbaal. This is breaking live. This channel, Bigfoot Outlaw, on YouTube, on all good podcasting networks, and very soon on lots of TV stations, in your own TV in the house. Kay is saying ready, steady, go. Grizz is saying yes. And Catherine is saying shared. Twisted. Nothing is good enough for Twisted. Twisted is saying need your own Roku, Grizz. I don't even know what Roku is, but I know what Hulu is. The Kardashians are on Hulu. That's huge. And she's saying congratulations. Let's try in hope. I didn't manage to connect to the live link. It shows connection issues again. We'll try and get Seth on. I'll just say to him one last try. I'll try and get him on again. And if we can't get him on, then we'll do it. We'll do it another time. But let's try and welcome Seth to the show. You see that my screen has contracted, making space for Seth's screen next to me, but I don't see him. We've got a message from Tora saying Roku would be amazed. Tora, tell me, what is Roku? Right. Do you know what? I guess we don't have a guest today. He's saying the computer keeps giving him error messages. That's fine. That's fine. Like I was saying, the Mercury retrograde gets us to come up with creative solutions. So we're going to try one last time. Get Seth on here. If you can't get him on here, we're just going to sort of get excited and talk about the Mercury retrograde and of all the different times that things broke or that weird things happened and they ended up being messages. Try and add Seth to the stage. We can see you. Can you hear us? Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll try again another time. Thank you for trying to come with us, and we'll flash up. We'll flash up. This is Seth's Facebook, and hopefully you can go and visit him, and he will have a lot of interesting interactions with all of us. I still hope to have him as a guest soon, because he was one of my dream, like one of my sort of top list of guests. So we're going back to the conversation we had before, and Tor has sent me a message. So Grizzly Chris saying Roku also. Am I pronouncing it right? Is it Roku? Is it Roku? Living Purpose Through God's Word is saying, hi, everyone. Hi, God's Word. Little Twisted saying, Tor. Kathy's saying, hello, Tor and Living Purpose. Twisted is saying, hey, Mary. And Bigfoot Outlaw Grizzly is saying, yes, we are. That's very straightforward, isn't it? We definitely are. Living Purpose is saying, hey, Twisted, I think it is under Roku also. So Tor is explaining, mostly for me, who I know what a TV is. It's something that you plug, that you have an antenna for on your roof. Tor is saying it's a service with different channels, programmers, etc. You got Roku TVs and boxes. So we have it here in the UK. That is good information. KD saying, my daughter has Fire, though. Thank you. All in time. They have some good options. It's type of TV connection or just TV. Adora saying, but I don't know what's happening. Just saw the word Roku and got excited. Right. So let me scroll up and put up the message that we had from Grizz saying, we are going, so that's you as well, Tor. You have a show on this channel too. We are going on Apple TV, Fire TV, Hulu, where the Kardashians are, and more. So it turns out Roku as well. So yeah, we have a lot of cheers. Twitch saying, yay, Grizz and Mary. Grizz is saying Tor is correct, and Tor show is going to be broadcasting on it. And Tor is saying, is it? Woo, thank you. And Grizz says, yes, sir, you deserve it. Oh, and you're helping me pronounce it. Roku. No, I don't think I'm saying it right. KD is saying Roku. Okay, yeah, I can say that. And Tor is saying, I think. Hi, everyone, by the way. Roger Blair is saying, hey, Grizzly. Living Purpose is saying, hi, Tor. And KD is saying, now plug in, use Wi-Fi done. Words make things difficult. Wi-Fi, he. Super exciting. Right, so in a victory of hope over experience, I'm trying to get Seth on. Had another error. One last try. And now, Grizz is not letting up with one exciting message, not letting up with two exciting messages. Oh, no. He also says, hi, Roger. We have more things coming. I don't know how strong your heart is. I can't take more things coming. Can you? Well, we're just going to have to. Lily is saying hi. Poncho is saying walking the. KD is saying congrats, Grizz. Roar and Bigfoot Outlaw is saying Bigfoot Outlaw as more things coming. That is incredible. Inbaal, tell Seth to turn his Bluetooth off. May help. Let me send him a message. Bluetooth off. And Poncho is saying, walking sabotage. Hope everyone is doing well. Everyone is doing great. Do you know what? We've just spent, I guess, half an hour trying to deal with what the Mercury retrograde is trying to do to us. Why don't we focus on some positive messages? Why don't you send in some questions? You know, this is the easy way. This is the easy way to get to enjoy the Mercury retrograde. So for those of you that are not sort of very astrologically minded, what we've got happening between yesterday and the 15th of December coming up is Mercury, the planet of communication, appears to be going backwards in the sky. Obviously, no planet goes backwards. All the planets are always hurtling forwards. But when Mercury looks like it's going backwards in the sky, to us, it does all sorts of strange things. And when that happens, it impacts things like contracts, job offers, letters, parcels, radio waves. It was kind of funny. I think it must be a couple of years ago. I remember that it was October 4th, but I don't remember exactly one year, maybe 22. I was sitting outside the high school waiting for one of my kids to come out, and I was listening to the radio, and in the radio, they were saying, oh, none of the messages from the listeners are coming through. And I was like, oh, ha, 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 Mercury retrograde. Well, that was the day that I don't know what platform they use for their messages, because that was like the proper radio. But that was the day that all of Meta had had a massive outage internationally, and it was such a Mercury retrograde thing to happen. I think nobody who's into astrology was like, oh yeah, that's really weird. We were all like, yeah, obviously. So that's what happens. We've got a message from Tor who says, I recorded today for Silent Hill Light game. Do you see this being a success? I didn't realize it was a question. I never get to do your questions. That's exciting. And yeah, we've got a few questions. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So we'll start with Tor, even though I had Twisted and Seashells before. Oh my goodness. And we also have an answer from Grizz. So the question is, I recorded today for a Silent Hill Light game. Do you see this being a success? Thank you, Queen of Tarot. Love your bestie, the Princess of Tarot. So first of all, Grizzly says, yes, Tor, I do. I also see other things coming to you early next year. Amazing. Let's see what we've got in the tarot. So you would be super, super unsurprised to know that this message matches Grizz's message to the letter. So first of all, we've got 3 major arcana cards. Sorry, I'm trying to sort of tidy them so that they look really, really neat and even. That's why I keep touching them. So 3 major arcana cards, considering that the deck consists of 78 cards, out of them only 22 are major arcana. That's already beating the odds. So you're already doing well. One of those cards is the universe, the world. It's the biggest and best card in the whole tarot. So success is coming. When is it coming? Well, the middle card is the devil. If anybody here is scared of the devil, do not be afraid, because in the tarot, this represents Capricorn. The time of Capricorn starts in the winter solstice. So this is not even 4 weeks from now. Is it 4 weeks today for winter solstice? And it looks like there is going to be a connection with a lady who will be either booking you or presenting you. There's a lady there who is your main contact for that specific level of success. But exactly like Grizzly says, it's not the only one. It's so far from the only one. The only one is a dot to it. So yes, massive success. That's exciting. Poncho Zorch says, I'm not internationally known, but I've been known to rock the microphone. I don't know why everybody's laughing, because, I'm guessing I'm in a different country to you. So you are now internationally known. So we had a message from Seashells just saying, yes, please. I'm pretty sure the answer, yes, please, was to, does anybody want a reading? Let's see what we've got for you. Right. Listen, Seashells. We were looking at your TV situation before, and it looks like there is anxiety around you. Now, there have been arguments. Those arguments remained in the past. So you've managed to break free from the person who was causing you the anger. So the emotion of the anger, the arguments, that's staying in the past. That's great. But what you've brought back from that time of argument, it's thirsty work. What you've brought back from the time of arguments is a healthy dose of anxiety. And that anxiety is what's causing static when you reach for things. It's not just the TV. In fact, the TV would be the least of it. It would be, you know, if you're needing to do somebody's hair, even your own hair, even if you need to just, I don't know, reach to the curtain, move the curtain, you'll feel static, and that remain from it. Now, the good news is that somebody is coming into your life who will be really, really soothing. This normally comes up for like love, but it doesn't have to be love. It can be just somebody who's sort of very accepting of you, a new friend who sees you as, you know, as who you truly are. So this kind of resolve the question of the TV thing, as well as give you a little bit of a message. Some of what you're feeling right now has to do with interactions that are over months ago, years ago, and they're still kind of hanging around. Little Twisted is saying, any messages from spirit? Sorry, I'm trying to press and I'm pressing all the wrong things. Any messages from spirit for me? Let's have a look for you, Twisted. Messages from spirit. Let's start with this. Right. So this is saying to you, you're doing a great job of keeping everything neat, organized. You're doing it not just with your head, but also with faith. You're also doing it with belief. So you're doing it from, I'm going to say from the heart, but I don't know. Does faith live in the heart? Does it live in the brain? Is it a combination of the both? So spirit is very proud of you, of how you're managing to organize everything, but not lose your heart. We also have this juggler, and it says you're juggling everything. So same kind of message. You're juggling everything. You're keeping all the balls in the air. And finally, success. And there's really no question about it. Now, I want to show you. Let me try and find the first card that came up. How matching the first and the final one are, because they're both sixes and both of them are organized in a really similar way. This one always kind of reminds me of the Passover plate. You could even sort of trace a Star of David on it, like a triangle upside down and a triangle the other way up. And then the Six of Wands, which was the first card that came up for you, has kind of the dots. Do you know what I mean? Like the edges in the same spaces. So this is just spirit being really proud of you for how you're keeping all the balls in the air, which is the same message that this guy had. So it's really one message coming from all three cards. Tor is confirming a lot of radios in the UK use Meta, actually. Yeah, as they found to, you know, to their great chagrin. Laurie Sue is saying, Inbaal, question. Some guy I was just introduced to has some odd romantic notion towards me. It's not at all reciprocated. Will he take the hint, or will stronger measures be necessary? Sorry, let's have a look. Well, I'm saying sorry because I'm sorry that I laughed, because it's obviously not funny when somebody can't take the hint. It was just sort of the turn of phrase, the unusual turn of phrase that made it appear to me as if it was humorous, but clearly it's not funny when somebody doesn't understand when they're not wanted. So I apologize for the giggle. Will he take the hint, or will he need stronger measures? He will take the hint, but where he is at the moment, he can understand and accept that you're not interested romantically. But what he wants to do, which to him, in his mind, appears very innocent, he wants to say friends, but inside that friendship, he also wants to be somebody who's allowed to like make little jokes about stuff and that. And for you, that will be too much. That will be a step too far. You're not keen at all. But to him, that's where he won't take the hint. And you will have to explain to him that where you put the boundary is exactly where the boundary runs, and that your boundaries are not to be pushed. So I hope, sorry, I didn't show the cards. I hope that clarifies. So he will take the hint, but not enough. He takes the hint, but he doesn't take your wishes as seriously as he should be. Tor is saying thanks, Grizzly. Oleg is here. Sorry, why Oleg? Greg Ogles from Relic Films is here saying lol poncho. I'm so excited to see an Oleg. I haven't seen an Oleg in years. Twisted saying, I think so. Tor is saying, thank you so much. Bigfoot is saying, hello, Greg. Twisted is helping me with my math, saying 25 days to solstice, December 21st. Ooh, what a countdown. So Seashell's explaining with the TV, everything's been going well. So when it starts to change the channels, I looked over and I seen a red energy. Tor is saying, I'm not giggling at balls. I don't know, isn't that your entire social life? Taurus says, you can't prove anything. I'm not on camera. Very good. Twisted is laughing for Tor. Oh, Seth is joining us from a distance. Rodriguez Mystic is Seth, who was going to be our guest tonight and who will be our guest another time. He is a gifted artist, reader, oracle deck designer, occultist, and witch. He has so much to say that I really thought like the hour of the show will not be enough. So he's watching us. Sorry for the technical issues. At least I can watch you on YouTube. That's a good start. That's a good start. And I think some podcasting programs don't work too well on phones, but I've joined this on a mobile before and it's worked just as well. So maybe that's the trick. Seashells is saying thank you, you're welcome. Twisted saying thank you so much, Inbaal, thank you. Laurie Sue is saying thanks, Inbaal, thank you. And Craig Stephen is saying hi Craig. And Twisted is welcoming Seth, saying hey Seth. So have any of you had things break on you, things go wrong, things go bizarre? So let me tell you another really, really weird one that I don't think I've told anybody because it's a little bit shameful. So at the very, very start of, if any of you have children, tell me that this is normal. The very, very start of the summer holidays, everybody's sort of really, really excited. And so the first outing of mummy and kids is usually, I wouldn't say a disaster, but certainly a test of patience, because they've just been, normal for a whole year for their teachers and they can let loose. So the first day of the summer holidays is usually the hardest outing. And a couple of years ago, the first day of the summer holidays, we went to a local shopping center, played in their playground. We're queuing up for their restaurant. And then the kids were attempting to pulverize each other. They would not stop. There's 4 of them. And, I just didn't have enough sides to separate all of them. And in the end, I was like, you know what? Everybody back in the car. Everybody back in the car. We're going home, which is like the worst punishment. The worst. So everybody got back in the car. They were very silent. And I got on the motorway to get home. And the car was barely moving. It was fine before. The car was barely moving. Anyway, I'm no mechanic. So I thought, well, I might as well keep going home, however slow it is. I don't understand the engine. There's wheels there. I know there's a door. I know there's a radio. Put the radio on. The radio is not working. The car is not working. And we got home very, very slow. I missed the turn off. I was pretty angry. Missed the turn off. Eventually we got home. It's like a 40-minute drive. We were there like 2.5 hours later. We walked through the door, and I get to sort of try and figure out what's going on with the car later, and the car was fine. The car was driving absolutely fine. The radio was working absolutely fine. And I really think that there was something about the vibe, about the energy of anger, frustration, guilt, mom guilt, is that old chestnut, that all kind of conspired together to make the car not want to play along. The car was like, I'm going, but without you, bozos. So yeah, that's a thing. So Kathy is saying, KD is saying, haha, very nice. Kathy is saying, yesterday I turned on 2 lights and the bulbs blew out. I know someone was trying to tell me something. That's what I mean. I really think when things like that happen, there is some kind of a message taking place. So we've got a few messages here. Tor says, my video game kept freezing during a ranked match earlier. That's been my big Merc retro so far. Wow. It did not waste any time coming for you. Kay is doing owl and lots of emojis saying bah ha 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 ha. Tor says, still one, obviously. And Kay saying patience levels are as any tolerance, always rises. Yeah, we try to be as patient as possible. Kay says it's fun times, best job, non-job. Is it mum job moments indeed? Yes, it's not easy. And I do feel sort of really guilty, and I feel a lot of shame for being a human being and getting annoyed because they're all so cute, they're so adorable. But when they keep going for each other, and they go for each other like gladiators, like their lives depend on, like if they stop fighting, something terrible would happen to the universe. So yeah, it's very testing. Lorna Nicole is here saying, yoo-hoo, everyone. Saying I'm so late. Kathy is greeting Lorna. Twisted is greeting Lorna. Jonathan is saying watching. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure, if you're watching us on my Instagram, if you're watching us on the Bigfoot Outlaw Twitch, if you're watching us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, make sure that you, even after, doesn't have to be now, that you pop on to the Bigfoot Outlaw Grizzly YouTube channel, press that subscribe, and then you will not miss a show. We have all the paranormal topics here, not here on the show. Here, I'm a psychic. I'm a tarot girl. I do psychic development. I share my insights and and my views and my passions within the psychic world. But we have shows with mediums, with Bigfoot encounters. I'm actually reading it because I wrote it down so that I don't make mistakes. Paranormal investigations, ghost hunts, and so much more. Some of the shows I don't even know everything beforehand, so I watch to educate myself. Kay is saying, oh no, don't say that yet. Scrambled egg brains for breakfast. I definitely get it. Pros and cons to all ages, stages, phases. Bless you. She says, tame that shame. I love that. I wish I had a spicier accent so I could say tame that shame and it would really sort of mean something. Jonathan says, gotta support Grizzly, Chris, and all like-minded folks. I'm a cryptid researcher and a spirit healer. That's what I mean. When there's shows about cryptids, I have to watch them because I think, well, I don't know everything. I need to educate myself. You tell me, from a healing perspective, do you find, Jonathan, that when things sort of go wrong in the house, in the car, even something like, a bag handle breaking when it shouldn't have broken, or a hole working its way to the sole of your shoe, do you see a message in it? Because I'll tell you what, it's a long, long time ago. I used to run workshops at Witch Fest International, which I hear is coming back next year, to a new venue in South London near Staines. I know Staines sounds horrible, but it's a good venue. I used to run workshops at Witchfest for just listening to the signs from the universe, because everything is a sign. In my view, everything is a sign. So when you've got, I don't know, yeah, I'll give you an example. When I just met my husband, so I'm like a priestess of mostly Athena and then also Hecate. I was involved in a group that that brought Hecate worship to kind of what it is now. And also my personal thing is Athena, and that's why I've got all the owls everywhere. Well, one of the reasons I've got all the owls everywhere. Look, there's more of them, there's loads over there too. Anyway, Hecate as a goddess is linked with dogs, specifically big dogs, specifically big, either black or brown dogs. Big, impressive, a little bitey. And when I do meditations on Hecate, when friends that I've been involved with do meditations of Hecate, there's usually some kind of, big black dog involved, big brown dog involved. And when I first met my husband, we were talking about moving in together. And when we decided, we were actually in Spain. And then and he's scared of dogs. It's a small, small little detail. And when we decided that we're going to move in together, 3 little dogs, 3 big dogs, walked up to us, no owner, no nothing, so like strays. And one of those dogs very calmly bit him on the ankle and kept going. They didn't attack us. I say they didn't attack us. I mean, I'm sure he would claim differently. But those dogs were, for me, an incredible acceptance and initiation by the goddess Hecate. To him, let's say, maybe he saw it a little bit differently. But I believe that was a real aligned moment. So I'm curious whether it's something that's sort of just witchy, or whether it's something that even sort of healers and light workers see it really the same. Kay says, you do, as definitely for us mixed speakers, English must truly be the hardest. Energy is definitely at play. One can feel and see it. I often say, see universe. Very good. And she also says, my daughter's name, Owl, funny, yes, Hecate. Is your daughter's name Athena? That's incredible. I don't want to tell you all my sort of weird bonkers stories, but I have a funny story about the name Athena. So we have a good answer from Jonathan. Thank you so much for taking the time to put all that together for us. So negative energy can attach itself to a person. There are herbs and crystals that can counteract and or deflect that away or cleanse physical areas such as your home, says Jonathan. Pairing amethyst and quartz and binding them with silver wire is a very effective protection amulet. I make my own black salt. Oh, I love that. Which I use to mark a perimeter to protect. Animals are often sent to deliver messages or give guidance. Jonathan, I've got to tell you this. So this stopped about a year ago, but for about a year, I run a lot, and I run a lot outside. And for about a year, I kept, don't think I'm psycho, I kept running past dead animals, and it would be like anything and everything. It would be like, a dead bird, squirrel, sometimes dogs, cats and stuff. And I was saying to my friend, I keep running it, and he was like, oh, it's probably Hecate. She's, guide and guardian to the underworld. Of course, it's Hecate. And the fact that you're saying, animals can be sent to deliver messages. Yeah, they don't even have to be like involved in it. Twisted is saying Hecate was the only child of the Titans Perseus and Asteria, from whom she received her power over heaven, earth, and sea. Are you a Hecate babe as well? Kay said yes, and son Aris then learned the stories. I love it that you guys are all into the myths. I'm sure I showed you my children's book of the Iliad and the Odyssey that I had when I was growing up. I say mine. It's my grandmother's. I took it from her book. Don't tell her if you. Sorry, I took her from her house. Don't tell her if you see. But that has the gods divided compared to who they supported in the Iliad, whether they supported Troy or Greece, the Trojans or the Greeks. But yeah, I love it that you guys are crazy about the myths as well. Lorna says, oh, Tor, you so deserve this new chapter. You literally sparkle through the screen. Not saying you don't sparkle off screen. Oh, shut it, Lorna. Delighted for you. Sorry, I didn't say shut it, Lorna. I was just reading it out. Jonathan very helpfully says, dogs can go either way. They can be an omen of protection or can be foreboding, such as hellhounds, which I personally somewhat associate with the dogman sightings as well. So the interesting thing is that just like Twisted said, that the power over heaven, earth, and sea, Hecate, the goddess from Greek myths, was a guide and guardian into the underworld. So she would take the newly departed souls to Hades, which we in our sort of Western view see as hell. So the connection to hellhounds, I put back Jonathan's message, the connection to hellhounds and an omen of protection in Hecate, the two are one. That, you know, the dogs can be sort of either. If any of you read the Harry Potter books, I'm just reaching for my coffee. If any of you read the Harry Potter books, there is a character there. I say character, like a three-headed dog called Fluffy, and that Fluffy is exactly Cerberus from the Greek myths as well, who was, I suppose, a protector, but also a, you know, very scary monster. We've got a few messages. Is it for Tor? Kay saying to Twisted, chills. Just listen to the same story, but another confirming a lot. The same thing, can't make it up. And I'm the only child. That is interesting. Kay says, feel validation. We choose our names. Twisted is saying, that's a fantastic book. Thank you. And Tor saying, thank you, Lorna. Twisted saying, fascinating, Kay. Tor is blushing. Now, Jonathan says, all of what I know is knowledge is passed to me by a good friend before she passed away. She was the granddaughter of a Choctaw shaman. I've taken her teachings and adopted with my pagan druid beliefs. That is beautiful. So you've got kind of all the combinations. We've only got a few minutes, so I'll go through the messages and say very quickly, but I didn't join social media for years and years and years. So I kind of knew what I knew and worked mostly in the UK with people from the UK. So Wicca kind of developed in the UK with the sacred sites here and everything. So I only knew like one way of doing things. And it was only when I went on Instagram and met witches from America, from Australia, from Latin America, from all different areas and all different backgrounds, that I saw that there's actually lots of different ways to connect and to combine things. And that is just so gorgeous to me, that nobody needs to stay on the outside of the spiritual movement. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's welcome. Everybody can do their own thing. Kay says, it wasn't until her name, then he came to mind a few ways and knew I've had the attack. Did food protector and a pig behind me with blue eye as serpent. Take to Valhalla. Kay is saying 555. Twisted is saying fascinating, Jonathan. And Jonathan is asking me, what is your take on the Black Panther sightings in the UK? I don't know enough about it to comment, but I would love to go away, learn a little bit, and then develop an opinion. What is your take on the Black Panther sightings in the UK? We're starting to wind down. So thank you to everybody that got involved. Thank you for everybody who was so welcoming of Seth, who I'm really, really hoping to get to chat to in one of the future weeks. Thank you so much for Grizzly popping in. I want to pull out his message again. For Grizzly popping in and giving us the incredible news that the show is going to be on. Wait, I'm scrolling up to put the message back on the screen. I think I'm scrolling up. I thought it was going to be so smooth, and it's just Mercury retrograding all over me. There we go. Grizz came on earlier and gave us the message. We are going to be on Apple TV, Fire TV, Hulu, and also Roku. There we go. Got the message that says Roku also. So thank you everybody for getting involved. Oh, right. So the question, Jonathan, I actually have an answer for that. Jonathan says, do you think it's spiritual or just an animal sighting of a small population that have adapted to survive? Personally, that's just my personal belief. I'm not representing anybody other than myself. Personally, I think that the spiritual uses the physical in order to communicate its messages. So I think if something was sighted, then there's every chance that it exists in real life, but the message that it carries comes from the spiritual. That's just sort of in my belief. So that, you know, every time I see a rainbow, my mum has passed. So when I see a rainbow, I think, oh, that's, you know, that's a hello from my mum. That's my own personal belief. And the fact that the rainbow is there physically and visually and everybody can see it doesn't take away from me from the fact that I feel that that is also a message from my mom. So I think the two sides of your equation, I believe that they can exist at once. Lorna Nicole says large white cats have been seen around the Highlands for decades now, Jonathan. It's no longer something whispered. There's a lot of whispering in the UK, isn't there? Twisted is saying beautiful show today, Inbaal. Thank you. And Case, sorry, typos. Yes, meant a good expert as not so good ones with black dogs. Yes, it's all beautiful experiences indeed. Taurus putting the rainbows on. Always nice to see a rainbow from you. And Kay says thanks, and feel if animals appear, then it's a good chance. I wouldn't base it all based on what's taught us by others, yet if seen, it somehow applies to us and it's a learning speed up, yet worthy. I agree. Thank you so much for everybody that had got involved. I'm just sort of checking my notes to make sure that I haven't forgotten to say anything or mention anything. My name is Inbaal. You are watching the Bigfoot Outlaw channel, coast to coast and around the world, and soon on a whole TV station near you. I'm really thankful that you stayed here with me. I'm thankful that we spent this Tuesday night together, and I will see you again this time next week. Have a fabulous evening/night.